Post. Hit all the buttons. Go to Instagram. Hit this. Come on. Hit about 7 buttons. There we go. All right. So let's do this. 2616. Welcome to episode 2616 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. And of course, one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you. Welcome to the last show of 2024. That's right. It's been a year and we're closing it out here with yet another great trip report, as maybe I should be down, hopefully, Music City for the Music City Bowl. Here is our Missouri Tigers take on the Iowa Hawkeyes today, and hopefully close out a good season, double-digit wins. See Brady Cook hopefully lead us down the field with whoever has not opted out of this bowl game, because that is kind of the way of things here in 2024. But we're gonna have a good time. Hopefully, boot scooting and bringing a trophy back to Como. So we'll see how that goes. Either way, today we're here for the Disney Talk. We're having a good time, not traveling very far geographically to record this show. We're headed just a bit east of the Be Our Guest Podcast studios over to Bridgeport, Illinois. Tyler's joining us. Tyler, what's going on? Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday. Happy to be here.
Any big plans as we close out 2024 over in the land of Lincoln?
Not too much. Just going to enjoy the break. I've got a restaurant that I run, so I'm going to be busy for the holidays. So taking care of that.
Oh man, I can't imagine that this time of year. It's because in travel industry, January is what we call wave season, because everybody gets their replenished days off and they can schedule vacations and stuff. So this is kind of your Super Bowl season, I guess.
It is a lot of parties with family parties and stuff. People traveling in, so they come in. It's a pizza restaurant. They come in and we take care of them.
Oh my God, pizza restaurant! I think I might have to head east.
Come on out. We'll take care of you.
That sounds good to me. Yep. All right, maybe on the way back from Nashville.
There you go.
Good stuff. Sounds good. All right, so let me get your background though on the Disney, the background. So, what has you listened to a Disney podcast? What's the story there?
So, my family it's me and my wife and we have one son. He just turned 11 years old this summer. We go down to Disney about every year, and we've typically go down to Florida. We've been out to Disneyland once. That was 2 years ago. But we travel down there all times of the year. Just kind of depends on what fits in our schedule. So we love going down there. We love listening to the podcasts, trying to find out the new tips and tricks and the news and all kind of stuff. So this trip we took down there this summer, so my son had just turned 11 years old, so it was his birthday trip. And this was the first time that we let him take a friend. So it was kind of a big deal for him. He had been down there, been down to Disney for 11 trips already. And the friend he decided to take had never been to a Disney park. So kind of complete opposites when it comes to how to take care of things. It's pretty cool.
Sounds exact, because we did this with Paige, my oldest daughter, who actually getting ready to watch her basketball team take on LSU. This is long in the past by the time this show comes out, but I'm nervous as I'm recording this show. Big chance for an upset. Probably didn't happen, but go Flames. We did this with her friend because at the time she was an only child back in the day, way before Mallory, who's now almost 17. And so we brought her best friend, Molly, at the time. And same thing. Paige had been a bunch of times. Molly had never been. The thing that surprised us, and I'm going to ask you about this, is that when we asked her, we're like, it'd be really cool if Paige had a friend to hang out with, not just us, my wife and myself. And, we're like, but her parents will never let us take Molly for a whole week, down to Florida. But they did, it was it'd be fun for her. And because they were best friends, and we were friends with, her parents. We're great friends with them and everything. And we talked to them about all the logistics of it all, and they did. And you know what? They had the best time. We stayed at Pop Century. They swam. They got matching swimsuits. We did all the stuff. We went to all the Chef Mickey's, and I mean, they had the time. They're in their mid 20s, late 20s, actually. God, I'm old. They still talk about it, and it's one of those things. So talk to us about how you approach the subject with your son's friend and how the logistics of it all, because it is something you have to have a lot of considerations.
For sure. We proposed the idea to him and let him pick which friend. With obviously we was going to kind of be picky about it whenever he told us who the friend was. And it was his best friend that he has. And we know his parents as well. So his mom's kind of a little bit of a helicopter mom. So we was kind of in the same boat. We didn't know if she'd let him go for that long. He spent the night over at the house several times ahead of this, but like we were the first place he'd ever got to spend the night because, we were friends with the parents. They trusted us. So he's like, well, they might not get to come, or he might not get to come with us, but we'll ask him first anyway. And we approached her and the mom and was like, hey, we'd like Jude to take Carver down to Disney World with us. We're going to pay for everything. It'll be fine. If he just wants a little bit of spending money for his own souvenirs, you can, take that with him, but he don't have to worry about anything. We're going to drive down there. We're going to drive home and it'll be great. They'll have each other to hang out with and ride rides with. And they instantly said, yeah, we'll talk to Carver. And if he wants to go, then we'll let him go. And Carver jumped on it. Both the boys, they play football and baseball together. We found 1 week that they had off that we had to go. So it was the
story
week
about
in July.
life. Story about life.
It is.
It's called Dead Week, in high school.
Yep.
It's the only
Exactly. That's what it was. So, it was the week. So the football or baseball season rolls right into football camp. And then they have a week off between camp and football or practice. So that's the week we had to go. And we got kind of nervous because Carver made the all-star team for baseball. And if they would have advanced far enough in the regional tournament, his baseball baseball games would have been on the weekend we were supposed to leave. And I'm not going to say I'm happy that they lost, but I'm happy he was able to go with us. Let's just say that. So
it makes taking the L a little bit easier.
It does, yeah. So yeah, they got beat in the tournament, and then the next day he jumped in the truck with us, and we took off for Florida. So
oh my gosh,
yeah, it was kind of a nerve-wracking thing when we was watching the scores, and it was like I don't know what's going to happen here, what we're going to do. So, but it made for a fun little couple days before the trip. Let's just say that.
So I mean, it's pretty awesome. You got your best bud. You're going to get to go to a place like Walt Disney World. Your son has the experience. The friend has none. So was your son kind of in the days leading up, kind of priming him to what to expect? Hey man, this is Space Mountain rocks.
Yeah,
we're not going to go on. We're going to skip Small World. I mean, it was that kind of. I remember being an 11-year-old kid. I taught forever too, kind of thing.
Yeah, my son Jude is a adrenaline junkie, so he loves all the roller coasters, loves the fun rides, the big rides. And his friend Carver was kind of the opposite. He gets motion sickness, and we kind of had to prepare Jude to say, hey, we might not be able to go on some things because if Carver can't go on them, we're probably going to skip on this trip. And he was like, okay, well, if we can't go on them, I understand. I've been on them before and I'll be on them again. So we let Carver decide. Like we told him what it was and was like, hey, if you want to ride this ride, great. If you don't, no big deal. But then we also Jude was so excited to be able to tell his friend what's going on. We kind of had to reel him in a little bit and say, look, you're going to overwhelm him very easily because he knows so much about Disney too, not just let's go ride this ride, but let me tell you about this ride. Let me tell you where the tiki room came from and how Walt, basically unengineered the bird to figure out how to make it work. And so, Jude's watched all the behind the scenes stuff on Disney Plus and he loves all that stuff and can retain it. So we was like, hey, let's just kind of roll with it and not overload him on the trip down there, not overload him when we get to the parks, that kind of stuff. And Jude did a very good job about that. And
as adults, we have to kind of rein that in when we bring a friend, with a 50-year-old.
For sure.
You bring a friend, you're so excited because you just want to share, like, hey man, check out the windows on Main Street.
Exactly.
I don't care. Most people.
These are all Disney legends, and this is the forced perspective, and see how the castle looks kind of smaller up there, and this is why. And so, definitely, same thing. I can overindulge sometimes and tell people too much, and they just like, I really don't care. But like, no, I do. Someone tell you.
50% of the people are like, dude, I just want to get a corn dog at the end of that street. I mean, where's the ice cream on the other side? I don't care. But we got to appreciate that. It's hard for an 11-year-old to read the room. That's good guidance as a dad. I appreciate that. Now, let's take a step back. So you guys were there this summer because you said, with all the sports and stuff. Where'd you guys stay when you were down there?
So we stayed at a couple different places throughout our years going, but we love going to Pop Century.
Rock on.
The Skyliner and the food is good there. I mean, it's simple food, but we love it. We always get a pool view preferred room. It's right there. You're looking at the pool and the food court's on one side, the Skyliner's on the other. You're right in the middle of everything. And we would rather pay for the preferred room there then upgrade and go to Port Orleans or somewhere like that, which we stayed at Port Orleans, Riverside several times. Loved it. It used to be our home resort for a long time until the Skyliner came in. And then once the Skyliner hit, we was like, this is where we're staying forever now.
Yep.
Just love it.
Yep. Because you guys spend a lot of time in the theme parks. I saw your notes. I mean, you guys were killing it in the parks, which I mean, exactly with 11-year-old, son and his buddy. I mean, I can totally see that. So, I mean, what did your your son have been there, but I mean, his friend, I mean, Pop Century, because it does have the Disney feel, because you got like, the Jungle Book characters, you got, Mr. Miss Potato Head. I mean, that had been perfect, because it just, because like Riverside for an 11-year-old, right? French Quarter, like it's not
Disney,
right? But I mean, Pop Century, perfect for like
the
first time.
And that was one of the things that always attracted me to Riverside, is it felt like I was in a whole different place.
Right.
I was like, I'm at Disney, but I'm also in Bayou. So for Carver, he's a very, very well-mannered kid and doesn't really speak unless spoken to. So it's kind of hard to get some things out of him. But, it's like, hey, Carver, what do you think? He's like, it's really cool. I like it. And that's about all he say. But you could tell he's having a good time just by, going to the pool and just, he wasn't moping around. He had a smile on his face, but he's just a child of a few words. Let's just say that. So, but great kid. He seemed to really enjoy it. The trip even down there, we didn't really stop anywhere, but he seemed to enjoy the trip, playing the video games with Jude, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so going to Pop Century, we rolled in there and kind of the room wasn't ready yet. We did pool and they just jumped right in the pool and they had a great time. I just kind of chilled in the lounge chair because I've been driving the whole night. So
tell me at least you guys stopped at Zaxby's, man. Come on.
We didn't.
Oh man, that's about driving.
Yeah, Zaxby's is good. I don't know. Typically, it's just whatever. When the boys say, "Hey, we're hungry," whatever's closest.
That's true.
You look at the next exit, and this is your options, and you pick something.
Yeah, it's pretty much Chick-fil-A if you're in Georgia.
Yeah,
Zaxby's. I mean, it's one of the two. I mean, they're at every exit. Okay, so. I'm just thinking about my old road trip days, because I was scared to fly. We drove down so many times. I mean, it was crazy. All right, so let's talk about times in the theme parks. Now, you were down there in the summer. These kids want to do as much as possible.
Yes.
So, what was your strategy? I mean, you guys obviously are probably rope drop, and what was your Genie Plus situation? Lightning lanes now, but Genie Plus situation. How'd you guys? What was your strategy, and how did it kind of work out?
Yeah, so basically, I let my wife Bonnie take care of all that, and I just tell her like, "Hey, tell me where to be, and I'll get you there because I'm pretty good with the directions. If you tell me what time to be there." But her big thing was like, "Hey, we're gonna rope drop stuff that I don't want to have to get lightning lanes for, and then we'll get all the lightning lanes for the afternoons or the second park. We got park hopper. We always do park hopper." So she's like, "We're gonna rope drop, and we're gonna knock out this, this, and this, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna do lightning lanes for the rest of the evening." And just get whatever we can, basically. She usually has one or two that she's like, I have to get this, either the lightning lane or I have to get the, I still want to call it Genie Plus as well. But, she prepares it all, and then it seems to work out. I never question her rhyme and reason, but she listens to podcasts and she gets all the tips and tricks, and it works.
And I like how the first day, because you got there, the first day wasn't your day in the park. You kind of just like eased in, which we used to do too with the drive. You guys did some Disney Springs, a little pool time, had Blaze Pizza there to kick it off. But then your first day was, I'm always curious what people pick as their first theme park day. You guys, it kills me when people wait for the Magic Kingdom like the day 4. Like,
yes.
How do you have that restraint? I don't
know. We wanted Carver to walk in under the railroad tracks and then see the castle for the first time.
Glad I picked at your notes. I'm like, okay, good. I mean, an 11-year-old kid, like you're like, seriously. I mean, I think I came to the wrong place. Like if you don't go to the Magic Kingdom, you can't do that to the kid. But you did
exactly. And so we want to make sure, and we typically still do that even when it's our own trips. That's what we want to do. We want to knock out Magic Kingdom for the first time and have that feeling of we're home. So we go there almost every time.
I mean, you guys got a ton done though. I mean, because it looks like you split it there between that and the studios on that first day. But I mean, what was the highlight though? I mean, because I mean, you're in your first theme park, first morning, really rocking and rolling there. I mean,
so the big thing for us is we was kind of trying to cater to Carver, and we was like, you know what? Let's try Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Let's rope drop that. It's kind of a mild coaster. We'll see how he does, and if he likes it, then we'll kind of be like, hey, let's go do something else. If he doesn't like it, then we'll go this way. And, he liked it. So we was like, all right, that one was fine. Now let's go try the Big Thunder Railroad. It's a little bit more intense, but it's still not Everest. It's still not Rock and Roller Coaster.
Good call.
So, we hit Haunted Mansion on the way over there. Stuff was still kind of early, rope drop, so the times were short. Went on Big Thunder Railroad, same thing. He loved it, didn't have any issues with it. We're like, great. So now we're going to just kind of hit what we can. We try not to go like across the park as, back and forth. So we try to like, okay, this is Jungle Cruise right here. Pirates is right here. One's got a 40-minute wait. One's got a 10-minute wait. Let's jump on the one's got a 10-minute wait.
Yep.
And then maybe the wait time on the other one will go down. So kind of doing that, hitting that side of the park, Adventureland, Frontierland. And then the last time we were there, the railroad train was the Walt Disney Railroad train was down because they were still working on the Tron and all that. So we hadn't been on the train for a couple of years, and it was like, we got to be on the train. That's something my son loves trains too, and had been asking about like, hey, when's it going to open up? And we're like, well, it's coming. Their Tron's finally done, and we're finally moving forward. Let's do this. And so we ended up getting some beignets, which was awesome because we had not had beignets in Magic Kingdom yet. We always had to go over French Quarters.
You're killing me because that's one of the things I meant to get at the Magic Kingdom when I was down last weekend and forgot because I got all hung up on getting this popcorn bucket.
Yep.
And when I could get it, then it totally slipped my mind. And when I saw these in your notes, I'm like, dude, forgot to get beignets.
They were so good. And I think they're a little bit different than in French Quarters, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So they were very, very good. We ate them while we was waiting on the train to show up, and then took the train around, which was nice because, like I said, we hadn't been on it for a while, so I kind of missed it. And getting to go through, well, I guess we didn't do that yet. I was going to say going through the Tiana's Bayou Adventure, seeing the new scene, but we didn't make it all the way around yet. So we took the train over to over to Fantasyland and got to walk on some stuff there. Walked on Dumbo, walked on over to People Mover, and then we was like, you know what, we got to get something to eat. We love Columbia Harbor House.
Yeah, me too, man.
So we always get the sampler platter and just share it. So we got like 3 of them, and we was like, hey, I'm gonna eat a piece of fish, you eat chicken strip, I'm gonna eat some fries, and just hey, my son doesn't like hush puppies, so I'll eat hush puppies. And
yeah, there you go.
It's great. We just kind of go with that. Plenty of food. We bought 3 of the samplers for the 4 of us, and it was too much. We actually still had some food left over. Like, all right, I got to try to eat this so I don't throw it away, and kind of stuff myself because the boys were done and they're ready to go. And then, so we hit the Philhar Magic on the way over to Columbia Harbor House, and then it was break time. We love taking the afternoon breaks, get out of the heat, which middle of summer, July, it was hot.
Yep.
So we took some cooling towels and some fans, and I typically wear the backpack. I'm the pack mule of the family, so had all that. The boys just got to run around and not have to worry about anything until they like, oh, I want some snacks. Let me open the bag up. Like, yeah, I've been carrying this bag all day long, but you get to enjoy what's in the bag. Took that mid-afternoon break. Went over back to Pop and just got out of the sun and got out of the heat. Sat in the air conditioning room for a little bit, just chilled. And then the plan was to go to Hollywood Studios and jump on the Skyliner, but the storm came through. So the Skyliner was down. We had to catch a bus, which took a little while because I had to divert and that kind of stuff. So, but it was so cool. That's when my wife Bonnie had most of the lightning lanes was over at Hollywood Studios. And we started knocking out so much stuff over there. Went over and we talked to Carver and we said, hey, we're going to go do a rock and roller coaster. This is one of the big ones. Do you think you can do it? And hey, it goes upside down. He's like, yep, I want to try it.
Yeah, so I saw this. I mean, that's like, it's still the same day, right? I mean,
yeah, same day, still Monday.
Seven Dwarfs to Big Thunder. Okay,
I guess Tuesday, yeah. But yeah, we built it up and it was like, all right. And this is, me and my son's favorite at the time. So we jumped on it, got in line. We had a lightning lane for it, so we got in real quick. He loved the pre-show. Of course, my son, he loves classic rock, so he loves Rock and Roller Coaster for that reason. Yep. So we got on it, we got off of it, and then, hey, Carver, what do you think? And he kind of smiled a little bit, didn't really say anything. And Jude said he blacked out halfway through the ride. And I was like, no, you didn't. Carver's like, yeah, I did. I'm fine, though. I had fun what I can remember. So he legit blacked out.
That's a great story.
Yeah. He just kind of was like looking at us. So we kept that in mind. But he said, I would do it again.
Good friend.
But yeah, I blacked out. So
Oh my god.
yeah, so we did that, and then we hit up Star Tours, went over Galaxy's Edge, did the Millennium Falcon, had Lightning Lane for that. We didn't do Rise, did not have Lightning Lane for Rise yet, and so then walked through, went over Toy Story Land, Saucers and Slinky Dog Lightning Lane. So I said, my wife, she had all these like planned out, and then once we did one, then she got another one on there. She's like, hey, this is next.
She's a
Walked over
Jedi. Not lightning lanes. I'm looking at this list. I mean, you guys almost had like the premier lightning lane.
I guess, yeah. She was catching them, and we're knocking it out. And we didn't, like I said, we didn't have to walk across the park a whole bunch of times. So then, like, my go-to every time we're in Toy Story is I get the lemonade from Woody's Lunchbox. I can't remember what kind it is, but I love it. So I mobile ordered it, and it was supposed to be like 10 or 15 minutes. And I walked up, and I said, hey, I'm super early, but I was just going to check and see if it's ready, or if you could go ahead and make it, because there's nobody else in the mobile order line. And the cast member is like, let me check out real fast. And within like 2 minutes, she brought one out, and she had it for me. And we carry probably 4 or 5 years ago, Walmart had these little metal coins with Disney characters on them, and they came in like, it was like a mystery grab, but it came with a little piece of chocolate too. And we were buying those to get the whole set. I think there's 14 of them. Well, in buying those, we got a lot of duplicates.
Yep.
So my wife made up these little like Ziploc bags that had little cast members saying on there, says, we thank you for everything that you do. Hopefully this brings puts a smile on your face and a little bit of happiness in your day. And we just kind of keep them in our pocket. If something magical happens to us, then we try to pay it forward.
Yeah.
And she gave me that drink, and I pulled one of those out of my pocket. I said, here, thank you very much. I'd like you to have this. And she looked at it, and she like almost started crying. And she's like, hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You have a nice day. And as she was turning around, I was turning around to walk away. I could hear her tell one of the other cast members, like, oh my goodness, look what I just got. This was so cool. So I knew I just made her day.
That's awesome.
And that's what it's all about. They're there to make us have a great time. But you know what? We should be there to make sure that their job is, they want to come back to their job, and they have a wonderful time too. Yeah. So that was something special. It made me feel good. I got a drink as we're walking over, and then it's like, okay, we got the Lightning Lane for Runaway Railway, which of course is just right around the corner there. Knocked that out. And then our favorite show has always been Fantasmic. And it seems like every time we go the first time to go see Fantasmic for a trip, it's like guaranteed to rain. And we'll be sitting there like, it's not canceled. It's raining on us. We're wet. And then they cancel it. And it's like, okay. And then we just make the best of it. But that's one that we always have park hopper, because we want to make sure we hit Fantasmic. So the first night we were there, Tuesday night, we go to Fantasmic. We're standing in line. We get in line pretty early. We want to get some good seats. And typically when we go see Fantasmic, we don't eat dinner. We do like hot dogs and pretzels at the Fantasmic show. We just get it from their concession stand right there inside the amphitheater. The boys got the seats, and me and my wife went up to get the food. We took it back down to them, and it didn't rain, which was surprising. So we was able to actually watch the show the first time. And I think this is the first time we'd seen it since they redid it and got the new scenes. So it was really cool to see. We still loved it. Still love seeing some of the old stuff. Me personally, I didn't think it needed changed, but I'm also happy with the change. I would have been perfectly fine if they left it alone, because it's my favorite show. So got to see Fantasmic, and then by the time we got done, the Skyliner was open back up for the ride back to Pop. So we got to do the Skyliner, and of course the boys love that. Wife, not so much. She's a little scared of heights, but she just kind of closes her eyes and holds onto the rail the whole time, and just doesn't really look until it's time to get off the Skyliner.
This is me, my first ride on an airplane about 10 years ago now. Yeah. I had to get the wine and dine, and I made it to the point where the drive wasn't going to work anymore. So I had like 3 margaritas and let's go. And of course it stormed that night too. The Cubs were playing the Cleveland Indians at the time, Guardians, and everybody in the back of the plane was cheering and screaming. I'm like, everybody needs to sit still and calm down, because I don't need all this noise. Man, that's a heck of a first day. And yeah, so I'd note to self, if I see you in Phantasmic, it's probably going to rain. So I got to make sure I steer clear there. And I need to have your wife help me get these lightning lanes because she is
for sure.
So now so the next day you guys bounce right back over to the studios and kind of go get some of the stuff you missed, some shows, but you start off with Rise. I mean, you go after the big dog right away.
Yeah, that was the big plan was, hey, we're going to rope drop. We're going straight to Rise. We want to make sure we do that. My son and my wife Bonnie, they're huge Star Wars fans. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'm not a Star Wars fan.
That's okay.
But I love Galaxy's Edge. I love the rides. I still enjoy it, and I'm not like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm just not huge on the movies and the shows, that kind of stuff. But I buy into the cast members when they're walking around with the characters and stuff like that. You know, I the stormtroopers I think are amazing when they're walking around through the park. So I buy into all that. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, had to hit Rise. We got in, no problems there. The boys loved it. Of course, you know, Jude has been on it, Carver has not, and his eyes were just big the entire time. Just going through the ride and or going through the attraction and seeing the AT-ATs, and just he couldn't stop just looking around at everything.
It's as close as you'll ever be to getting in a movie. I mean, it's like you're in the environment. Like I'm still blown away by it.
So it was great to see that. I mean, he had a great time. And then we just kind of, like you said, we kind of hit some of the stuff we didn't get on beforehand. The one thing that we were watching the Tower of Terror wait times, and we was like, all right, we're going to go get Tower of Terror because the wait times were low. But by the time we got over there, or getting ready to go over there, they jumped way high because Rock and Roller Coaster went down. So we kind of had to take a detour there. And we was like, you know what? We're over here. Let's go do Muppets. And then we'll hit Indy. And right before we went into Indy, we got some mini churros, knocked out Star Tours. And it was kind of like, all right, we need to either go take a break or we need a park hop. What do we want to do? And we had done everything we wanted to at Hollywood Studios for that day. And then it was like, all right, let's go to Epcot. So we did Epcot, took the Skyliner over, and we had never been to the Regal Eagle. So we was like, you know what, let's do Regal Eagle this time. That sounds like a good, everybody likes barbecue in the group. So went there. My wife and I split, I think, the roasted chicken, and then the boys both got ribs, and they devoured them. You know, 11-year-old boys who are growing and hitting growth spurts.
Yeah,
it's like
heads up if you're because those things are messy for adults to have. If you're within striking distance, be careful.
Yep.
Because there's so many barbecue sauces to choose from too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but they got some barbecue sauce they liked. Can't remember what they got, but they ate all of it. It was out of the heat. You know, they had air conditioning in there. We had got a seat. It was very busy. We had to wait for a seat, but we was kind of just hovering and waiting for somebody, like, hey, it looks like they're about done. So, and then we seen some people hovering around us. So we was like, hey, we're cleaning up and going. You want our table? You know, make sure they know.
I'm just finishing. So
yeah, like, hey, yep. Hey, don't leave too far. You know, we're going to be done in like 30 seconds.
This is yours.
Yep. So yeah, did that, and then we got the virtual queue for Guardians, which we had not been on yet, I don't think, and we asked Carver, like, hey, do you want to try this one? It doesn't go upside down. And he was like, yep, I want to do it.
I'll black out, but it'll be good.
So we didn't tell him. I think we had been on it because we knew it spun.
Yeah.
And so we didn't tell him that part, though. So on our way that way, we caught Grand Fiesta Tour. It was a quick walk-on ride. You know, it usually is. So then we get over to Guardians. We go through the queue. Had to wait a little bit because it was backed up, but we got the virtual queue for it, so it wasn't too bad. And then, we get on, we're enjoying it. It's probably my favorite roller coaster now that is open. You know, always has been Rock and Roller Coaster, but now it's this one. And we get off of it, and we look at Carver, and I said, "Hey, buddy, did you black out again?" He said, "Yeah."
I knew it. Yeah. That thing is a killer.
Yeah. So, but he said it was fun though. Like he was enjoying it. He wasn't getting sick. He'd kind of black off for a second and he'd wake back up and be like, "Okay, I'm good." So our thing was, if he's not getting nauseous, if he's not having to take breaks and that kind of stuff, then we're okay. And as long as he wants to go on it, we'll let him go on the stuff. So yeah, we did that, and we had a couple more lightning lanes. We caught up, Mission Space, Soren. Always have to hit up Living with the Land when we get off of Soren. So we did that, and then we did Nemo with a lightning lane just because we was able to grab one. But that queue was so long. I mean, that's your wait time right there, just walking through the queue.
Yeah,
So
no kidding. That's 5K.
Yeah, so we did that. First time going through Journey of Water, loved it. I thought it was such a cool area they put in there, and reading all the stuff about how water is goes through its cycles, and then went over Spaceship Earth, hit Figment, and it was like, all right, we got to go hit Remy, and then we'll catch a Skyline on our way out. And so as we did that, we grabbed some crepes, and then ate the crepes real quick, went on Remy, back to the hotel. And the plan was at that time they were doing the Pixar drone show at Disney Springs. So it was a nice night. It didn't look like it was going to rain or anything. So he's like, we better hit this drone show up because we got time. So we went back to the hotel, kind of dropped off our bags and stuff, just got our necessities, and went to Disney Springs and caught the drone show. Got in pretty early to the little area they had roped off, had a really good spot, got to watch the drone show, and then just basically went back to the hotel. We didn't do any shopping or anything like that. Just it was strictly there just for the drone show. But it was great. Another good day. I mean, we were knocking out a lot every single day, and it's like that lightning lane. If you do it right, it works.
I mean, those kids had to have been in heaven because they're getting to see it's like the best of the best. I mean, you're doing everything basically. And let me ask you about the drone show. I mean, I know it's gone, but hopefully it'll come back this summer. I'm hoping in some form or some point. I saw it too. I was super impressed by it. I thought, especially like the Star Wars. I mean, I took a great picture of the up house. I mean, the size of those images that they made. I mean, it was
very impressed how big they were. Yeah, when they did the up house, it's not just a little bitty spot in the sky. I mean, it took up the almost the whole skyline. We've got drone shows around here, and they're impressive, but nothing compares to a Disney drone show. Nothing compares to Disney fireworks. It's just they just do it on that massive scale, and there was nothing short of that on the drone show as well. It was cool to hear the music and watch it, and very impressed with it. I'm glad we got to do it. It was kind of up in the air if we wanted to do it or not. No pun intended, up in the air. But so we was kind of like, what is it going to be worth it? Are we going to be able to get a spot? Is it going to be crowded? How long is it going to take? So, but we was like, you know what? Let's just do it. It's because it's only limited time.
Yep.
And we're glad we did.
Yeah, same, because it was the night before our cruise, and we're like, is it worth it? We're at Old West, is it worth it? Because I mean, it was busy and it was crowded, and we had to stake out a spot, like the same thing. But I'm glad we did, because all these things have to be tests for Disney. Looking at they're going to probably do something in the parks eventually. But man, it was cool. Like hopefully it's step one to a 5-step process to get them in the park. I don't know. I love tech, and I think that it is it was well done. This next day is Thursday. Down day, rest day, which I'm always curious, like how you fill a day. And I love this because Scotty G would approve because you guys play mini golf. He's the mini golf person, man. He thinks he's going on tour with that. But tell us about how you kind of did this, because I love that you ended with Yeehaw Bob. We talked about Yeehaw Bob last Monday, but give us a little scoop on this day.
Yeah, so we try to build in a rest day anytime we can. Obviously, every trip doesn't account for one, but just wake up when we want to. Breakfast, we caught the mini golf. I don't remember which one we did. Fantasia Gardens. Yep. Yeah, that's the one we did.
Yeah, the one over by the Swan Dolphin.
Yeah, that's the one we did. And I'm gonna be honest. I think Disney's kind of missing the mark on those mini golf. I think they need updated. They've been there for a long time, and so I think it's about time for them to be updated, maybe one at a time. But we still really enjoyed it. Super, super hot because it's about 11 o'clock. So as we're playing, we're actually dripping with sweat. But we were still having fun. A couple of the spots, the holes with water, we kind of get a little water on us, get a little bit of mist, whatnot. So it kind of cooled us off. But yeah, so mini golf, and then went back to the hotel, did some swimming, and then went to Disney Springs, did some shopping a little bit. We're big Lego fans, me and my son are. So caught the Lego store and checked some of that stuff out. And then wanted to end the night with Yeehaw Bob. We've seen him many, many times, especially when we were staying at Riverside, and he's Jude's favorite show. He gets up and he dances and does everything, and it was Jude's birthday. That's what he wanted to do for his birthday. Like, it's your day off. What do you want to do? They said, I want to go watch Yeehaw Bob. I want to take Carver, and we did that. And of course, he comes around, he talks to everybody, and I've got a picture of Jude. I think he's probably 4 or 5 years old with Yeehaw Bob up on stage at the end of the show, and then I showed Bob that picture. He thought it was so cool, and he's like, "Well, we got to recreate the picture, but we just got to add Carver to it." So we did that. We got a picture with the 3 of them instead of just the 2 of them, and hopefully we get some more pictures with him. It's something that Jude cherishes tremendously, with getting to sing and dance with him and watching the show. So we caught dinner just at the Riverside food court. Yep. Did that before we went, got a table, and had a really good show with Yeehaw Bob. So always look forward to that.
Back to, because you didn't get to probably hear, we recorded the show for last night for the week before. It's pretty much a tribute show to Yeehaw Bob on that one too. So good weeks. Bob's a good friend of mine. I appreciate one of the most talented musicians and even better people. Just a great gentleman. Spends a lot of time over Kids World. Does tons of charity work. I cannot admire the guy enough. All right, so the next day, guys, Animal Kingdom Day. Finally getting over to Kingdom.
Finally get over. Yep.
The animals.
Yeah, so we enjoy Animal Kingdom a lot. We spend as much time as we want there, but we knock everything out, and then if we get done, we bounce out. But again, we flight of passage, rope drop. That's one of those that we had to wait in line a little bit. Probably one of the longest lines of the trip. But then, so we got the pre-show, and we kind of sit in a little pre-show room, and like the door wasn't opening. All of a sudden, the cast member door opens, and they're like, "I'm sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. We're gonna have to pull you out of the pre-show room." And they had to move us over to another pre-show room and get in line. And so it was a little bit longer. But after we got through it the second time, we got to ride the Banshees. Both the boys loved it. Carver thought it was just one of the most extravagant things, and he didn't pass out on that one, so that was good. But yeah, just thought it was so cool how they could do something like that. And he made a comment about he could feel the Banshee breathing, which I didn't want to tell him those little things like that. I just wanted him to experience it for himself. Yeah. And, so that was fun. And then we just started hitting all the rides. Most of the stuff was kind of just a 10, 15, 20-minute wait. We didn't really do lightning lanes yet in the morning. It was still early, so Safari, Cali, Everest. So again, we asked Carver, "Hey, you can see Everest. You can see it going up the track, up the hill, and this is the story behind it. Do you want to go on it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll go on it." Did fine until it went backwards.
Yep.
And then he passed out again.
I've always said this. It feels like you go upside down when it goes back.
Oh, it 100% does. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you agree with me. Some people say you're crazy, and I'm like, no,
it's the turn or something. Exactly. Yeah, a blind turn. It's dark, but yeah. So Carver, he blacked out for a few seconds when he's going backwards. So at this point now, we're just like, it's just going to happen. He's going to roll with it.
Like that's how you're built.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, well, you're good as long as you're waking back up. Call your mom at the end of the day, and you'll be fine. So, yeah, so he again enjoyed it. And then we just started. We hit Dinosaur, Tough to Be a Bug, and then Yak and Yeti quick service for lunch. I think we got some chicken fried rice and some egg rolls.
You guys eat just like I do. I mean, I swear we eat in the same places. Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly.
It's probably we eat that because we listen to your podcast so much, and it's just built into our brains.
We're all from the same place.
Yeah. Just kind of going from place to place and like, okay, let's hit this, let's hit that. We love the Boba Ball Night Blossoms. So we went back over to Pandora, grabbed those before we went back and took a break. We did everything we wanted to there. Jude has done the Wilderness Explorers in the past and loved it, but we didn't really want to take the time this trip to do that because there was other stuff we wanted Carver to experience. He did it one day, and that's all we did was just bounce from spot to spot. And we went back to the starting place to get his final sticker, and the cast member was still there. She remembered him, and she's like, "You did this all in one day?" He's like, "Yep. That's what I want to do." So, and she's like, "Well, very good job, buddy." Kind of impressed it. And it wasn't a long period of time, it was, but that's all we did. We didn't stop to do any rides or like that. We just went from spot to spot to spot. But yeah, he loved that. So yeah, took a break and then back to Magic Kingdom. It's like, we love taking advantage of the park hopper. So that's how we build our days.
But these kids had to have loved like the second half of the day, knowing at this point they probably figured out the system that when you bounce to the second park, like you're playing with house money at this point, the lanes are stacked.
Yeah,
so Especially in Magic Kingdom here, because everything's so dense. You got so many attractions, and with lightning lanes, I mean, you're really rolling.
Right. Yeah. By the time we're getting off of an attraction and getting in line for the next one, we're basically walking right onto it because we got the lightning lane. So there's not really a lot of downtime for these boys to, we've got the phones in the backpack and the fidgets and stuff, but they're not having time to get them out. It's like, hey, we're gonna get in line. If you need to use the bathroom, you need to get a drink of water. That's it. But then we got to go. But yeah, we're bouncing. We knocked out stuff. The big thing, of course, we wanted to hit was Tiana's. Big Splash Mountain fans, kind of torn on both sides, but I love Princess and the Frog, so I was excited about it. I know there's a lot of mixed emotions, but I said, here's the thing: for whatever reason they're changing it, it's an older attraction. Let's roll with it, and I think they're going to do very well. Mm-hmm. And seeing the animatronics and seeing the new theming of it, I was very impressed. I loved it. It's the same, ride system, obviously, so you're still getting experience the drop and the water. So I was very impressed with it. My wife and Jude, they were kind of they would rather have the Splash Mountain back.
Yeah.
So I had to be like, well, you're not getting it back, so you might as well just accept it and let's go with it. So, yeah, we know. So yeah, we got to go do Tiana's, and then we got to walk over and catch Country Bears, which that show I think had just opened during our trip. Yep. It was like the first day was in Magic Kingdom. It had opened, but we didn't. It was so busy we didn't want to do it then because we knew we was coming back to Magic Kingdom. So Country Bears knocked that out. Again, thought it was fun. I know it's nostalgic and that's gone now, but the new songs are fun. They still got all the same old characters. So I enjoyed that too. And then just hitting the classics. My favorite ride of all time is Pirates of the Caribbean. So I was like, wait, we got to go do it. And it was a 20-minute walk on. And again, that's basically just the length of the queue. Yeah. It's so long of a queue, and just kept hitting stuff. Knocked out Jungle Cruise, Buzz Lightyear, Space Mountain with all lightning lanes. And, by the time we get over there, it's time to use our lightning lane, walk right in, walk off. And then Casey's Corner. I mean, a trip's not really a trip if you don't go to Casey's Corner, right?
Man, that's right.
Yeah. So got some food, got lucky. It seems like those tables are always busy. It's hard to find one, but we found a little table like at the end of the Emporium shop, like the little section inside. I think there's only 4 or 5 tables, but we just got lucky and happened to be one empty there. So we sat down, got out of the heat, ate some food, and then it's like, hey, it's time to go knock out some more rides. Knocked out the Tiki Room, Aladdin, Haunted Mansion, Lightning Lane, Small World Lightning Lane. We only went on Small World because Carver had never experienced it. And
you got to, though, if you're going. I was just joking about that. I mean, dudes, you'd be like, hey, we're not doing it. But yeah, I mean, seriously, you'd regret not doing that if you're at Walt Disney World. Yeah,
for sure. We typically don't go on it. Jude is not a huge fan of the animatronics in that ride. So he's kind of like, Dad, I don't want to go on it like any other trip. Now, this trip, he's like, I'll go on it for Carver because he needs to experience it. So
took one for the team.
Yeah. So my thought is, okay, Jude's going to black out this time because he's scared of the dolls. But no, we went through it. We wrote it. It's a one and done for him. Carver's like, yeah, it was cool, but I don't need to go back on it again either. So yeah. So knocked out Small World, Speedway. This was fun because we let both of the boys drive, and this was actually the first time that I didn't have to drive because usually Jude drives and my wife goes with him, and I'm in the car behind him.
Yeah.
So now I just got to kind of sit back and be a passenger, and I liked it. Just chilling,
Yeah, wait till you turn 16 and you have to actually be in the for real car with them. And I mean, you don't have a daughter, dude. That's it.
No, Jude's our only one. So,
oh my God. there's still fingerprints in the dashboard.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It's coming up quick. He's 11, and
I don't know. His sons would probably be worse because they're.
Yeah, I know how I was, so I'm sure he will.
I know. There's nothing back to me. First snow, all we did was go and make donuts in the high school parking lot.
So they drove. Good time on that, and then we got to our goal for this trip was we had ridden Tron before, but we never ridden at night. So we ended up getting the virtual queue, and a virtual queue was later, and it happened to be at night. I think the fireworks are actually going off, and the lighting in that was so much fun. Carver did not pass out on this one, which was surprising, but I think it was just because the way he was strapped in and looking forward and kind of knew what to expect. So, we did Tron, love it, love the lights, got to see some fireworks as you're coming around the big curve there, and then that was the night. So he's like, all right, let's go back to the hotel.
Super jealous. I've never been on Tron at night. I haven't gotten to ride it since the virtual queue was gone, and I always got called like in the 2:00 in the afternoon, the dead of it. I
think that's definitely, it should be on everybody's bucket list. Try to get it at night because it's a whole different experience.
Totally. I mean, it's gorgeous at night.
It is.
It's like I got to ride that at night.
Just walking up to it with the canopy and the blue lights, and it's just, there's plenty of pictures opportunities there, and just looking at the castle from that angle, it's amazing. So it's definitely got to be on everybody's bucket list if you're a Disney fan. Sometimes the lines are still long with it because it's a great ride, but if you can block out some time for it, you got to do it.
All right, so we're up to your last day now. Is everybody is this like an all-star kind of day? You're trying to hit the best of the best because you've been everywhere. And okay, so give us, how's the trip wrap up?
Yeah, so that's kind of what we always do. With Park Hopper, we knock out everything we have to do. And then the last day, we've always tried to build it of, I want to go do this again. We wasn't able to catch this, so we got to make sure we go do that. But so we kind of bounced around a little bit, but the boys wanted to go back on Rise. So that's how we started our day. We went to Hollywood Studios, of course, took the Skyliner over there, rope drop Rise. We hadn't been on Tower yet because the wait time went so far up the first time I was there. So the Tower of Terror wait times were pretty low. And that's the one ride that Carver said, I'm going to pass on this one. So he didn't do it. My wife stayed with him, and then me and Jude went and did it. It was a short enough wait. They didn't wait that long. And if it would have been really long, we wouldn't have made Carver just like hang out and wait. We'd be like, no, we're just going to skip it. We've done it before. We'll do it next time. But no, me and Jude got on it, loved it. When he was 3 years old, he had just got tall enough to ride Tower of Terror. And he was super, super excited because he's finally tall enough to ride it. We were in line down at the basement part of it, been through the pre-show and everything. And there was a couple high school girls in front of us. And they kind of looked at him and looked at us. And they're like, is he old enough to ride this? I was like, there's no age limit, right? He's tall enough to ride this. Cast member said he's tall enough, so he wants to go on it. And he's like, yep, I want to go on it. I want to go ride the elevator. So these girls are like, well, we're scared to get on it. I can't imagine how you are. And he's like, nope, I'm good. And then he rode it, and we got out of the elevator talking to a cast member in the gift shop, and he was just thrilled. The elevator went up, but it went down, and it went back up, but it went down. And he ended up riding it several times that trip. But it was just funny seeing these, high school girls that were scared. And here's my 3-year-old telling him stop.
He's 3 years old. What's up, girl?
Yeah, exactly. That's how he was. He's like, I'm ready to go on it. So yeah, him and I went over to Tower, and then we decided to let the boys do the rest of the morning, do the bounty hunting. So I just found a spot in the cantina, and I just kind of chilled there, let Bonnie take the boys around bounty hunting. They were eating that up. They loved it. Jude had done it before, but Carver hadn't, of course, and they were kind of taking turns going different ways. That way it wasn't just one or the other doing it. And I think they probably spent 2.5 hours doing the bounty hunting.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, it gets to burn that energy and explore and get to just hang out and be dudes.
Yep. So yeah, they did that. And I chilled. I got a couple beverages and stayed out of the sun, and just I was checking some emails and stuff from work, what I had to do, and kind of did my time to just kind of relax a little bit. Which, sometimes on Disney trips, you don't get time to relax, but that's what the whole purpose of the vacation was. So yeah, that was good. And then, so we took the break, went over back to the hotel, did the pool, got some lunch there just at the Pop Century, and then took a quick nap, and then went back to Epcot. A few things we hadn't done at Epcot. We want to take the boys over to the Club Cool because, it didn't open back up. We hadn't been to the new one yet.
Okay.
I had to try Beverly.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Did
you trick them with the Beverly? I mean,
we didn't really. I guess we did trick them. We was like, hey, you gotta try this one. And both of them kind of looked at us like, I don't like this one. So, well, at least you tried it. So, we didn't get any video of them or anything like that, which we should have looking back at it now. But just the kind of look on their face was like, people actually drink this, But it was good. So they tried that, and then they actually tried all of them. They went through, and I was kind of like, I thought we were ready to go, and Bonnie said, no, they've still got 2 more to try. There's waiting in line for those, kind of taking turns. And It's like, oh, okay, they're actually trying all of them. Like, yeah, so they went through every single one of them and tried them, did that. And then we got to experience Guardians again. I think we got a different song, but Carver knew what to expect on this one, so he didn't actually black out again because he kind of knew which ways to look and
We're going back.
Yeah, so he was good there. We love the fish and chips at UK Pavilion.
See, again, this is my jam.
That's same thing, yeah. So we did that. And then we always look at the Skyliner and the monorail and the boats as extra attractions. Yep. So now we're taking, we got to go on the monorail back over Magic Kingdom. That way we basically did that just to experience the monorail. Kind of built it in that way. That's why we went to Epcot instead of just going straight to the Magic Kingdom from the resort. So caught the monorail. Always super fun. I love seeing just the outside of the parks of Disney. Almost the unincorporated land, I guess you want to say. The
like World Drive and
the
little airplane strip there on the Magic Kingdom. So the geeky stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the stuff that the boys have no interest in. They're just riding the ride. Exactly. I'm like, oh, look at this, look at that, and you got fun in the hidden Mickey.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so went over there and just knocked out Pirates because, like I said, it's my favorite. So I was like, I want to do it again. It's a short wait time. I don't care how many times I've been on that. I can always find something new or still enjoy it. It's just, I love the theming of it. I love the history of it. When we went to Disneyland, I've been on that one, but it was down for refurbishment when we took Jude. So he's not got to experience the Disneyland Pirates yet. So I'm really excited to get to take him back out there. And
heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he was kind of bummed on that trip, but he understood, he understands how the refurbishments work and that kind of stuff. So, but we ended up getting some ice cream over in Adventureland. I got the soft serve with the pineapple and orange swirl and vanilla. And I think we all got something different. Just kind of hung out, found a wall to sit on, ate the ice cream, and then we always end our trips with fireworks. So fireworks show was there. We got some good spots. Kind of scoped them out ahead of time, waited in line for them, and not waited in line, but waited in a spot just for the fireworks. And so we did that. And then it's time to head back to the resort, start getting packed up and leave for the next morning. So we get on the Pop Century bus and we're on the road, and where the little tunnel is where the boats go over the road. The buses go underneath it. About that spot, when it starts, the little spiel says, next stop is Pop Century. There was a family that says, does this bus not go to the parking lot? And the bus driver said, no, I'm sorry. We're going to Pop Century. It's like, oh, we thought we're trying to get to the Magic Kingdom parking lot. And he said, well, I'm sorry, I don't do that. I said, well, can you just stop and let us off on the side of the road? And it's like, of course, no. He's like, I can't. No, please. It's just right here. I can see the parking lot. Like, we're right there. He's like, no, I'm going to Pop Century. I can't stop. And you can have to get on a bus and come back and do all that stuff. And I felt so bad for him. They had a couple little kids, and they made a mistake. And there's obviously nothing as a guest that we can do.
That's very easy to do if you don't know how the whole system works. Exactly. But I understand, you can't leave the safety, right? You can't.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're just like somebody from Missouri, I could see where you would ask that question because if you just drive me off, I can just walk across that berm. It ain't no big deal.
It's so easy for us because it's different at home, Exactly. I felt bad for him. The bus driver was super polite, and he was just apologetic and just said, I'm sorry, I can't, for, like you said, safety reasons.
Yeah.
And they understood, and they didn't cause any scenes or like that. But you could tell, obviously they were bummed.
That's another hour.
Exactly. Yeah, it was gonna be a long night for them. And then whatever they were doing, they had to drive home because they drove there. I don't know how far they would have had to go, but it could have been another couple hour drive for them too. And so we got back to the hotel and we let the boys go swimming. Again, that's one of the reasons we love the preferred room poolside. Says we can watch the boys. We've let Jude go by himself before during the day because we can look out and see him right there. And so the boys went swimming, and I was kind of hanging out on the balcony just watching. And I went back in the room. I said, "Hey, it looks like Carver and Jude made a friend. There's 3 of them now."
Always.
And my wife was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, they're passing the ball back to this little boy." And she goes, "Well, you know who that is, right?" And I was like, "Well, how would I know who it is? They made a little friend out there." And she was like, well, that's one of their football teammates from back home. You
No
didn't know he
way.
was here? Yeah. I was
No
like,
way.
what are you talking about? So yeah, they had seen him earlier that day at the resort, and his dad was bringing him in for a little short trip before football season started as well. And they knew he was there. I didn't, and I'm far enough away from the pool, I can't see who it is. And my wife's just kind of like, I can't believe you didn't know that. Like, just dumbfounded that I just thought they made a friend, and that's how school kids are. They make friends with anybody. So yeah, they ran into one of their other football teammates, and they swam until the pool closed, and then he was starting his vacation, we were ending our vacation. So did that, and then next morning we prepped to take the drive home. Got some breakfast at Pop Century because again, you got to have Mickey waffles.
Yeah, you do.
So did that, and then the drive home for us is about 13 and a half hours. Probably not much different than when you was driving, because we're, like I said, we're straight across from St. Louis, so it's a little bit different route, but it's about the same drive. And the boys slept most of the way home, and me and my wife took turns driving, and we made it home. So that was pretty much our trip.
Those are the best days, though. Like, your son, his buddy, and you guys will just never forget that, because the road trip itself brings memories along the way just from the ride. But also, I mean, just when you get to hang out with your buddy and make those, because, they have stories that even your wife and you don't even probably know about, hanging out.
Sure.
And they were in the vehicle by themselves on some attraction and, all that, stuff that goes on. But, I mean, that's super cool. And it also gives you, it's a lot more relaxing on the parents when your son gets sick, friend. It's just it's a little bit less stressful. I know we got to relax a little bit when Molly and Mallory, when Molly and Paige, geez, it's forever ago. But it was an exciting time. It's cool to see them interact together too, because it wasn't just us three for a change. But man, you guys, I'm exhausted from your trip.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You guys did a ton, and you guys did it in July. But I mean, as sports parents, I get it, because
that's what we gotta do
with cheerleading. Like we have one dead week, and that's when we travel. So that's about it for right now. But Tyler, we got to get out of here. But thanks for taking the time here, this busy time of the year, and wish you the best here in 2025 to close out the year. So best wishes to you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, best wishes to you. Happy holidays, and thanks for having me.
All right. Don't forget, our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan that trip for 2025. Great time to get down to Walt Disney World, head out to the West Coast, see Disneyland, or sail with the Disney Cruise Line. There are some great specials coming out very soon for Walt Disney World, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have all the details here on the show, and we'd love to help you take advantage of those specials. So check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. No additional cost to use our services, and mention the Be Our Guest podcast, and we will be working together on that trip. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. Couldn't do it without you. $5 a month is all it takes, and you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give me a follow on the social media at Be Our Guest Mike. We'll be heading back to Walt Disney World here in about 10 days. Marathon weekend. Oof. 48.6 miles. Not going to be pretty. Also, we have a live call-in show this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Scott will be joining me, and we'll be taking your calls. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. So pick your spot and give us a call there. And join us in the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse. Great Disney conversation, 24/7, no cost, no fuss. Join us, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. All right, time to get out of here and wish you a very happy New Year and a great New Year's Eve. So whatever you do out there, stay safe. Don't drink. Don't drive. Call an Uber. Call a friend. Have a good time. But please do not drink and drive. But have a good time, and best wishes for 2025. So for Tyler over there in Illinois, I'm Mike here in Missouri. You guys have a safe one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Rock on. That was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. And UIC is beating LSU as we speak.
All right. Hopefully they continue that. So
5-4. If we could just call the game off now.
Right. It's over. Yeah. It's a good time. I appreciate you getting me in. I know it was a little bit removed from the trip, but I still have my notes and still remember most of it.
That's a great one. I love the story about your son and his buddy, man. That's it takes me back. Because we all have those stories, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, when they first told me he passed out, blacked out, I was just like, no way. And they're like, yeah, he did, and just kept going. So
that's just how he's built.
He loved it. I don't know that he'd want to go every year like Jude does, but he really enjoyed it. And I'm glad he had a friend to go. They said it made the trip home a lot easier because he wasn't trying to interact with us. He had his friend back in the back seat.
Absolutely. Yeah,
It was great.
it makes it fun for everybody. Well, hey,
Yep.
good. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you,
Yeah.
and I hope to get out to your place sometime. That'd be really cool. If
For
I'm ever
sure.
off
Just
that way,
come straight across Highway 50. It's Griffin's Pizza House. It's a great pizza, and we'll take care of you. Love to see you.
I'd love to get out to Griffin's Pizza House. I'll make it happen. All right, and I'll let Paige know too, because she's
that'd be great.
All around Illinois, she's in the valley, so they have
Right
all bring her whole team.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We got
All right, I'll see you later.
Hey, take care.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.